I promised I was going to go through a thing for Honorlock because that was what the main concern was. I did pull up the terms and conditions though, and it's a lot of crap. Primary device, secondary. Wait, let's go through it though. Primary, um, support. Let's see here. Okay, agrees to the following. You will comply an application. No false, so you can't put another name. Yada yada. No decompile, reverse engineering, or disassembling. So that means that it's illegal to do the thing I typically do, which is going to be taking apart the software. So, also we're not allowed to use a robot, spider, scraper, or any other automation. So, that means I have to deal with this another way, which is a little bit hard. At privacy, and that's what we're going to look at. It has a lot of, somebody said this, and it has a lot of words that are just regulation, like all applications, law and regulation, we're following the law, yada yada yada, we'll give it to the school only, yada 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 yada. I don't really give a crap, you can read that on your own time. To the real part of it though, we gotta look at this patent that Honorlock has. It is the system of methods for detecting and cheating. Okay, so what does that mean? We have to break down these images because nobody really knows what the heck. Server method or computer product. Online usage of honeypots. So we're going to start with honeypot. Honeypot. They're on devices. They can be anywhere on the network. But basically they're a way to capture data. It's something on the network that's fake. It's a little bit like saying, "Hey, I'm here," but it's also capturing your uh, data. So let's say that I am trying to attack a server and I'm going through and I get to this router and I start spidering or pinging everything. It's going to hit this honeypot. It's going to start trying to attack a honeypot, which means that it's going to be able to think that it's actually getting somewhere, but really it's just stuck in that little machine. It's like your attacks are pretty much useless because you're focusing on that one machine. So let's see if I can pull it up better. Okay, so we have my computer. We're gonna say that's my computer. Wow, that is horrible. I don't actually have a mouse right now, so it's a little hard. This is my computer. Okay, and our honeypot's right here. And the attacker is trying to attack both devices. Okay, and attackers can be lazy. So we just want to attack the easiest device. Well, the circle is easy to attack. So we're going to keep on sending attacks. We're going to send attack after attack at this machine. Notice we haven't touched this machine, and it's all going to be trapped on this little machine, and there's nothing useful in it. It's just going to find all these false positives, all these vulnerabilities, but really, I'm not on the network. Okay, for them, they're using it as a software for right here, so that way they can capture it. Okay, next part. At least one processor coupled to the network interface, so it's going to be on the network. Receive the test pool watermark questions. That's an interesting thing. Created a corresponding web beacon for each watermark question in the pool. Loads available PHP server header information. So basically it's creating seeds for each question in the pool, which server. Okay, so now we got to the PDF. I don't really need this page, but we'll go to this. Oh, that's a piece of shit. I already pulled up the image. So the first image, we have the questions. Send it to the Honorlock server and then to the web machine that's going to deal with everything. Up to this point, we're normal, nothing wrong. we get to the questions. It's going to watermark these questions. So the technique they use for watermark, um, it's not really that big of a deal, but the technique they use is changing, let's say, this word into this word. So, like, you know how you, what is it? How you typically copy and paste something? I need to find the actual table. Hold on, really quick. ASCII is the best way. They're gonna change, like, let's say here. What was the example? Would be X11. Holy crap. Here C would be let's see. I don't know what characters they're using. Let's see. Okay, it's the Latin one. But when I copy and paste this one, it can be different, but the point is that it's not going to come up with cat, it's going to come up with this. That's the goal of the watermark. It's going to change those characters. The best way around that, because that's very undetectable, is image search. So Google reverse image search. You can find similar images, and images are compared to these. So when I do this and I upload an image, it's not going to compare the text that you copy and paste. It's going to compare the actual whole image. That's a smarter idea. We then have web beacons. Notice we haven't done anything. The student has done nothing. He is still just signed in. This is where the questions. He grabs a random question and links it to a beacon. And the web beacon is below here. What is a web beacon? Technique used to buy web pages and emails to unobtrusively allow checking that the user has accessed some content. Used to monitor the activity of the user. So it's grabbing all of our information there, and it's used for email tracking and all of the information that we are given. Let's see here. Just don't send anything. Passwords, and it's only doing this on our computer because down here it's checking that the IP address are the same and everything lines up because each of these is linked. This is the back end, is it sends it to a seed engine, which then goes and finds its own answers on the internet. And this event listener tells us if there is the next question, which one we're on, all the events. Uh, Event listeners, this is typically a very non-obtrusive thing too. It's basically this is all an event listener. Clicking is an event listener. There's very unobtrusive action. Not really much to focus on there. Network. We begin question one. We begin question one and it has the web beacon, and then we end the question one and start number two, which is just another event listener, and it's sending all these updates to the network, which is still not that much information because it's sending a packet packet every single time saying, I'm done with this question. You go deal with your beacon. So we're not computing it on our computers. Google's computing it. And this is how it works on the network. We have our system and our operating system and our computer process. Maybe I can make this bigger. I'm sorry about this, guys, but our computer process right here in our system memory and our network interface, which it does add a new controller to it. This is what the Honeypot is at, and it adds our test integrity, which this is on our machine, the application, the watermark engine, and the seed engine. It is sending these things to the database, but that's still not a lot of data. It's just comparing stuff, and it goes to the network. Important information. Dealing with data security. Webcam requirements, the 3D scan. Yes, we know. That's the equivalent of inviting somebody into your home, which I do not agree with, and they should not be able to see what we have. If there were something that how would they deal with something that is, let's say we have something illegal. I don't know. I don't know what would be illegal, but say we had something illegal. What would happen if they saw that on the recording? Would it be flagged and would it be told? I don't know. Storing recordings of softwares. Yes, that does happen, but I've also taken tests for Amazon before, and they stored the data too. How is it different between them and Amazon? Or them and Google, or them and Facebook? Everybody's taking data. But I don't really care about my data as much because who really cares about all that information that is useless to me, like login information, credit card information. Those are good. But my photo ID, people already have that. I don't really mind. Then we have URLs, IP addresses, other stuff. It's allowed to track, and it requires Google Chrome, which Google Chrome is very, very notorious for tracking data. I agree with that. Data among third parties, it is using third parties. As we said in the terms and conditions, it is using a third party to do stuff. So yes, they use like Facebook. Encryption of data, I don't really want to know where they're encrypting it. There's no encryption to be done with. There's nothing really there. Any record that, according to our policy, any record that is maintained by an since FERPA is I want to know if that's valid. Okay? That's what I really want to know. Could we put in the comments if that's valid? But here's a list of information not protected by FERPA. Name. To block direct. Interesting. I wonder if our university has that. Name, date of birth, local address, permanent address, telephone, major participation in events, date of attendance, degree. Okay. We got roughly the same amount for UTD. So, next one, concerns. Am I even on this one? I don't know. Ways around it. You can reduce your web camera. If I reduce my web camera and I place the screen about that far away, you can't see much movement I'm doing. I'm turning my head side to side. I'm looking all the way around the room. I can write stuff down. You can't see a thing. My hands are gone. typically they want your shoulders, so let's say that. You can see very little movement. If I reduce the camera, which I did find, you can reduce the um, resolution, or not the resolution, the quality. I did 120 and you couldn't tell a thing. The thing, virtual machines. Yes, that could be an issue. Bam. If I were to have VirtualBox, the system model would be VirtualBox or VMware. That's how it tells um, what it is, where it's running. If it's VirtualBox or VMware, bam, it could flag it. Simple as that. Not much to it, right? And look at how much data. It has to know this stuff. I don't know if Chrome gives us permissions or we do. I don't know. We may employ other companies. These are valid points. We went over that. Um, Scratch paper, really don't know about. I'm looking for something that we can provide. Uh, so, purpose saying that we can have this. All of this fuss about it. To be honest, I would have done lockdown browser because that one just prevents a lot of things. So like, I don't want to use my camera. That's the huge thing. I don't want the camera to be used. I actually disable it typically. Also, thing is, we could also do microphone. Um, well, I mean, I'm already connected to a headset, so what happens if I just... You can't hear a thing that I'm saying once that happens. So, open volume mixer. That's output. I want input. Hold on, y'all. Settings. Microphone. Okay, so that's how we get around it. I don't have to turn off my microphone. I just make it where the system thinks the sensitivity is extremely, extremely low. Okay, so that's a really good workaround. If you guys are worried about uh, mics being too loud. Connect to another display. I connect to my TV. Wireless is a thing. It can. I'm not sure if. What the fuck? Okay, it's still going. Um, I didn't really want to do that to be honest, but guess it's up now. Um, yeet. That was unfortunate. Wow. Well, we got the microphone problem. Uh, one thing I suggest. This is honestly one thing I really suggest is that we make it like a real classroom. We all know how they have Zoom meetings. They all have those Zoom meetings with all the people. Why don't we make the teachers do that? We make the teachers have a meeting with all the people all on that same thing, and that way they can view all of us and they can tell if we're cheating or not. And then they could expand if we have um, if each person was cheating, they could check that person and like zoom in on that person. No data is stored, it is completely streamed live. Most people won't feel violated as much because it's just like they're right behind you and it's like a real test. No 360 views, no camera crawling. That's simple. We don't need all the shenanigans. There are exceptions with that issue. Now, people that have taken the test at different times, that is an issue, but guess what we just do? We just say they're special cases and they have to record themselves, which if you're doing asynchronous, you should be willing to do those exceptions. My opinion. Summarize, the reason why they're using Google is because it takes the load off our machines and it can search the whole internet relatively quick. They use a Honeypot, which is going to save our data on our network. Um, well, it's going to, what are the requirements? Um, I'm sorry about my typing. PHP server headers we didn't really go over, but it's not that big of an importance. Um, what are the requirements? 1.5 megabyte download. I don't think that's that big of a deal, you know? So it's not computing much on our devices. Everything is basically on the server. Image. Teach them about phishing. Just grasping at a few things. Legal events. Wait. So, there's a lot of stuff I don't want to read. But if you wanted to, they use these different patents. We're going really deep into this. Real credentials, fake credentials. Damn. Online honeypot. This is how complex it is. Okay, this is where the most of the resources are going, I think, because that is insane. All of that is the data it steals. Yeah, it just steals data, and it says it's using it. Web beacons and plugins. It's a very simple software that uses web beacons, Honeypot, and um, seeds for searching the internet. Very simple. Because what happens if we just fill out the information? 5 permeable roads. Let's see here. I'm thinking we're on to something here. To third parties without consent. So, by signing it, we have to consent to this. But we do not want to consent. So, in order to raise any special officials, evaluation purposes, appropriate parties in connection with financial aid to a student, half of the school, accrediting organizations, um, um, I don't think I see Honorlock anywhere on here. Just saying. Subpoena. Uh, so, we should do this. Fill out these forms. Simple and easy. It's our violation. That's what I want to leave it with. It's our violation. We should go to this. I forgot to do another thing, which was the segment on the Wireshark. Oh, I really did forget that. So we look, and I wanted to see if it was monitoring while not read. I mean, not active, theoretically. Okay, I'm seeing no packets. I just went to reddit.com. Very simple. Noticing cryptid handshake. None of these packets look any. They are requested Reddit. Any suspicion? It did, because I'm connected to a VPN. It did do that. Application data. Cryptid handshake. So as you notice, it's just a lot of these messages over and over and over and over. Oh, there's some red. Did I missed one? Nope, it was flagged as reset. Okay, so it reset the connection. Awesome. That's probably another reset for the connection. Okay. So we have that was my second attempt, normal. But when I open up the first attempt that we captured, whenever I was running it, everything's normal. Went to the router, was pinging it, that's why. Dropbox. I don't remember seeing Dropbox in the other one. Maybe I could have been wrong. Okay, we're thinking that. I already went through this, so I know what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. Encrypted alert. I have never seen that packet at all for mine. I would take a deeper dive, but I don't think we want to. But that's an encrypted packet. Why is that encrypted? I didn't see that at all in the other one. Encrypted alert, encrypted alert, encrypted. And this is all right after the application data. So is it sending it afterwards? Searching? Storing? I mean, I don't know how long it was recording for. I don't know if it was more or less, but I keep on seeing packets that I didn't have the time without it. There's these certification is of course recertifying it. I don't even know what an SSDP packet is. I can't open two at once, so that's why I can't do that right now. But I want to destination unreachable. What was that? When I opened the website, maybe? Is it at all reachable? Port unreachable. There's a lot more data on this one. So I don't... Yeah, there's a lot more to go through. But I don't like how much different the data is from doing almost exactly the same, maybe? Well, let's actually run it the exact same. Okay, because I want to really see. Shit. Shit, I have to install it again. Okay, we pin it. Added extension. It's on. Okay. So I have all the same things again. I'm going to start a recording. 1, 2, and UTD. 3 pages loaded. Come on. Man, this is taking forever. Stop. We'll tell you not as much black. But that's 9,000. How much was the other one? The other one without it was 3,000. Maybe I did one less website, but definitely a heck of a lot more. So there's something going on.